Thank you so much for watching and listening to the What Was I Thinking podcast. Honestly, really, thank you. I needed this today, and to be honest, it's taken me a while to even get started. I do want to thank Fume. Go to breathefume.com/Lee to get 10% off, and don't worry, I will tell you more about Fume in a few minutes. But yes, thank you so much for watching and listening. I personally needed this today. I've had a rough life. No, I really haven't had that rough of. That's the funny thing is I really haven't. I really haven't had that rough of a life. So when anything bad happens, it is like, well, this. Let's go back to less of this. I think everyone's had some sort of rough stuff happen. I'm not saying my life is all fairy tales and roses, but overall, pretty good. The last month has not been. Let's just say, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was an episode of The Office where I'm pretty sure, not Kelly, what the fuck is her name? Erin. Thank you. Like there's someone back here. Thanks, Lee. You're welcome, Lee. When Erin asked Michael what his favorite month was, like age and month, and she's like March of when I was 12, whatever her line was. This last month of my life probably won't win any awards of life. For anyone listening, every week, thank you. Last week I told you that I had found out right before I started recording that I was a close contact, so I would be quarantining with my girlfriend and her lovely children for the week. I did that. We survived. Still dating. Sorry, and I'm talking to you. You know who you are. You want her, but you can't have her. Does that sound angry? She's gonna watch this, so hi. But we survived. We survived that week. No one had COVID. Great week. Then today, just gonna let you know, I was getting ready to leave to come here. Her older daughter, I didn't even catch it. Moms, they just it's funny. I could watch literally almost anything on TV. My girlfriend falls asleep at 6:45. She's a mom. I get it. She falls asleep. I'm watching TV. I could probably yell in her face, wouldn't wake up. Her kid could breathe and she'll wake up. She noticed that her older daughter had a one sniffle. So we had an extra COVID test, gave her the COVID test, and the older child, let me just put it this way. Also, I'm unaware of a lot of things. I've been told today that apparently when you take a pregnancy test, if it comes back positive quickly, that means you're super pregnant. I was unaware that there were levels of pregnancy. I thought you were just pregnant or not pregnant. I didn't know that there was wow, you were really you're fucking pregnant. Apparently that's it. Well, that being the case, the COVID test said that it took 15 minutes to get results, and almost within 5 minutes, the test was she's got COVID. It didn't even show up in the line. It just a face popped up that kid's got COVID. Luckily, she's okay. She is 6, so she has the sniffles, and she gets to spend the week watching TV instead of going to school. To be honest, sounds kind of nice. I was licking her doorknob earlier. I was I gotta figure out a way to get this COVID, and apparently doorknobs are where COVID live. I don't know. But so she has it. I've been there all week and weekend. So I will be quarantining. I feel like the second season of isolation will be my favorite because I'll get all the repeats, but then I get to have the new characters that come in. But yeah, so spoiler alert, I am in my, luckily my office is completely closed. I wear a mask in. I'm in my office by myself. I have a little tiny room. And so I'm here to record this, and then I will be going directly back into isolation for another week. So this will be fun for doctors later on. I'm not even sure if anyone else is watching or listening, but my medical professionals who will be reviewing tapes to watch my descent into madness will say like, "Oh, I think it was right around that second straight week of quarantine. That's when Lee went a little baguga, because I said I went baguga and I meant it. For like, deep in my soul, how I feel right now is baguga. I'm doing okay. Like last week went actually really well. I, huh. Yeah, eventually I'm fine. Everything's like honestly, everything's fine. Um, going through what I was thinking about on the drive here was how funny it is, like the pressure humans put on ourselves by like just like assuming we're better than the rest of the animals on the planet. Like we're like, oh, we're not those dumb animals. If you haven't watched, by the way, Joey had a podcast with Stu Feiner, which I've never seen a Jewish person like Stu, so I don't know what sort of like, do we have to eat more gefilte fish? Like, what do I have to do to get to be Stu? But they were talking, and Joey was talking about learning how to sell, really just sales, but more specifically like the gambling picks from Stu, and he said that if you listen to what they said, you were fine, but when you got smart and tried to do it yourself is when you stopped selling. That's what I feel is happening to like humans currently, is we're getting too smart for our own good, and we're like, yeah, we're better than the animals, and there's literally zero difference, I feel like. Yeah, maybe, who knows, maybe our brains are a little bit more evolved, but we need to go back to I was watching Free Willy this morning because at 8 a.m, because that's what happens. And there were by the way, solid movie. Didn't get to finish it. You don't get to finish anything TV wise when there's kids around. Oh, I'm gonna add that to the list. Because I have something I actually do want to talk about today. But they were talking about the little kid from Free Willy, who was not, he's probably like a teenager, was talking with one of the guys who was working at the aquarium area, and he was a Native American, and the Native American guy was telling the kid about like his people and what they used to do, and the little kid's like, well, what did your people do? Because they had so much fish. And the Native American guy said, well, we sang and we danced and we made that. Maybe I don't want to identify as Native American because I know that's not cool, but I know you can convert, because you can convert to Judaism. I want to convert to like right when did 1692 is when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? Like 1685 is like, that would be great. I feel like that would like right in my, because I just want to do that. I just want to be like, hey, like we all got enough venison. I don't know what the word is. Let's just chill we put so much pressure on ourselves as like to either be successful, find love, just make the fact that we all make it through a day is frankly amazing. Like I feel like everyone feels like this. I don't know why I'm doing this a lot. It looks like I'm jerking off like a square. I know there are some people who are like really confident, and that's, first of all, awesome. But even like the really confident, like in control people, I have to think that like in your brain is a little bit of like my neuroticism and craziness, and like like I was saying at the beginning, I really personally needed this episode today. Just like and I'll probably talk about it eventually, but just some like weird shit has happened in my life recently, and between the quarantines and medical stuff, I I just it's good. I appreciate you letting me get all this craziness and weirdness out. And I wasn't even sure if I was going to do an episode today, to be honest. I got all the way to the office, and I, on it, to be fair, sat here, not in darkness, but scrolling at things I didn't need to scroll. I checked my bank balance twice. I was like, ooh, let's check it again. Maybe it changed. And I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I just wanted to let you, if you're watching and listening, A, thank you, but B, and this is something I need to work on. Like, it's okay to like A, not be okay, or B, just like take care of yourself, which is something that I struggle with. Clearly, I got to 336 pounds. But I also I worry about everyone else before me, and it's like I'm always worried I'm gonna hurt someone or upset someone, and I've learned that, at least in my life, it's really good to keep your circle small. Like one of my favorite things that I've experienced dating my girlfriend with her little kids, like her 4-year-old has this laugh that I probably haven't experienced since I was 4. I don't know what age it happens, but it's just this laughter that's just like pure pure happiness. Like I guess the kid, and it can get it can be a little bit alarming, like for someone who's been alone for so long. Kids, it seems like, go like really, like they're either like really happy or sad. Like they go from laughing to crying almost in the same breath. But that, like, just the being so open with emotions, like even the 4-year-old, when she was 3, would say like, "Oh, you're making me upset," or "You're making me sad," and I think we've all been. I know I probably do it almost on a daily basis. Like if someone asks me, "Oh, how are you? How is this okay?" or "How do you feel about this?" or I always go with a good. "How are you doing today?" "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" Never never once has anyone been, "How you doing?" "Doing kind of shitty today, Jim." I did it at the at the hotel in Cancun. I think I said this on the episode, but we complained so much, and on literally the day we were leaving, got a call from the front desk, and they're like, "Oh," and they were such pussies. They didn't even say like, "Oh, we heard you had a problem. How's everything going?" And I had it up to here with you. I just had it so much. I literally said, "Oh, well, this is the worst. But I'm going to get a COVID test, so I gotta go now." I just hung up, and it feels good to to really let it out, and I feel I need to do that more. But what I wanted to talk about today is none of that. That was basically me venting. Should I cut it out? Probably. If you made it through, give me a thumbs up in the comment. No, sorry. I love all that you. By the way, it's when I first met Joey, he said something, like he just says shit that's so out of bounds but funny. Like I don't know if he said it on a podcast once or said it to me or both, but he said like he's like, I want to send YouTube like $10 because they just got it, like they're great. I basically not discovered, but like kind of got into hot ones this weekend because the Patriots. Now I understand. I have an apology to all of the other fan base. That's why I'm not wearing a Boston team's shirt today because I just couldn't. I couldn't. But I apologize to you because now I know what it is like to be like Buffalo. I bet you're really enjoying the victory because this must be what you guys felt like. Sorry. I actually really do like Buffalo. And not Niagara Falls. It still sucks. But the people of Buffalo, I'm sure, are very nice. But I got into hot ones and just great, like little stuff like that is just laughing is so great. So I wanted. It seems like my niche, if I have a niche, is people laughing at my pain, and that's fine with me. What I wanted to just go through really quickly today, because like I said, I didn't even think I was going to do an episode, is I'm a weirdo, like, and I've done multiple episodes on this, but I just thought of just a few things that I do that I'm surprised people interact with me on a continuous basis. A couple of these might be a repeat. It's possible. If it is, I'm sorry. But it's also a free podcast. So let's get going. I have a lot of, I just have rules that are right by the, like, just so you know, all these things that I'm going to tell you that I do, are correct. I think you are wrong if you disagree, or think I'm weird. Also, it is very warm in this room, and I feel like my nipples are sweating. I have a lot of rules for myself and for the world, and I follow them, so I'm not sure why some of you don't. Number one, I'm not going to show you I can't show it. A Jewish man can't show his wallet. All my secrets will come out. I forever, like, have always kept my money in a very specific way, and I fold it into a Jewish star. No. Let me just put it the way I don't if you just get cash and it just goes in your wallet just randomly, I feel like you need to be checked for a mental issue, because when you actually are paying with cash, how does that happen? I have a rule, and and I'm superstitious. If something goes wrong and I open up my wallet and I've inadvertently broken my rule, that's why it went wrong. So here's all of my money has to be in numerical order. The biggest in the back, the ones at the front. And they have to be all facing and angled like the same way. Like, it's not going to go like, it could be all ones, but you know how sometimes like the back will be in the front? No. That shit is in order, facing the same way. Every day of it makes me feel gross on the inside and the outside if it's not like that. Another rule. If you're owning a restaurant, I feel like you really need to get a big enough restaurant so that every table is a good table. Nothing bothers me more than going to that's not true. A lot of shit bothers me. One of the things that bothers me is going to a restaurant and getting a shitty table. It's like, what would it be like? I don't know. It'd be like going, like, you start having sex, and then the bed is full of crumbs. That's what it feels like to me. Because I've been there. I've been in a bed full of crumbs, which is another thing I hate. But my girlfriend knows now that I will have. We're very rarely am I okay with the first choice of the host, or hostess. I don't. Is that allowed? The hosting person. I'm very almost never okay with their first choice. I don't like it when we're too close to people. I don't like it if we're like right. Like the other night we went to. By the way, I'm talking shit about their tables, but the Cedar Street Grill in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, might be the most delicious restaurant I've been to ever. So good. I just did the fat guy swallow, but like they sat us at a table like it's right next to the entrance, and it also had like the server station next to it, so all the knives and forks. And I get it. A lot of people are homeless or living in Massachusetts. I live here. I was trying to think of a bad place to live. It's not terrible, but it is very cold and expensive. So why? I am so excited that Fume is here again for a second week, and thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring this episode. By the way, Fume, F-U-M, that's how you spell it. Fume is the safe way to quit smoking. It is so hard to break a habit like this, like smoking. And I think why you need Fume if you smoke, or even if you don't smoke, they have a lot of great other products. But if you are trying to quit smoking, what I think is so smart about Fume is it might not be hard all the time to quit smoking. Maybe you don't have an urge, but when something happens, or you get that one, when there's something that makes you want to go for that cigarette, or for me in my case, go for that food. Those are the moments that things like Fume really help, because if you can just redirect for a second, you're going to be okay. And that's why I love Fume. Fume, and let me tell you what Fume is. They make handcrafted wooden inhalers. They're really cool. They're not cheap plastic. They're wooden inhalers that are made to comfortably replace the hand-to-mouth habit that you might have from smoking. Simply insert one of their non-addictive flavored cones, and you're off. It's great. It smells and tastes great. They have a lot of great aromas. It's aromatherapy in an inhaler. There's no smoke, no vape, no nicotine to worry about. I really can't recommend them enough. And I'm talking a lot about quitting smoking. You're like, Lee, I don't smoke. Good for you. They have a lot of great. They can help you with sleep. They have a lot of great cones, I'm sorry, that they work with and they have. But I want to talk to you about the smoking, because right now Fume is running their smoke-free January sale. You get 20% off of their most popular cores for quitting. And there's an and. That should be good enough, but there's not, because there's an and. And as a listener of What Was I Thinking, they're giving you an extra 10% off. That's right, an extra 10% off of your entire order when you use code Lee. That's right. Just head to Breathe, BREATHE, Fume, FUM.com. That's breathefume.com/Lee, and use code Lee at checkout to save an additional 10%. That's Breathe, BREATHE. You know how to spell it? If you should know how to spell that, Fume, FUM.com/Lee, and use code Lee. And let's kick off the new year right and make this January a smoke-free January. Thank you so much to Fume. Breathe Fume. Let's do it. I will rip my skin off of my body if like the legs aren't balanced. So like every time you touch the table, I will be on my hands and knees. Fuck COVID. I will be on my hands and knees with either napkins, paper, sugar packets. You know how Pablo Escobar burned money so that his daughter would be warm? I will gladly take cash out of my wallet to stabilize a table. Because I don't know how. On that note, and this was not on the list, but I'm thinking about it. A smoke alarm that is going off in the house. Like, I get it. Maybe there's one outside. Who knows? Even that. But if there's a smoke detector going off in your house for more than a minute, like, willingly, because, like, the battery's dying, and you don't immediately change it? Like, what do you mean, Lee? What do you mean by immediately? Do you mean, oh, the next time I go to the store? Like, no, I've woken up at 4 a.m. to a beep, and I will go to a store. I would. You have to. I can't. I won't. Oh, I refuse to live with a beep like that. And if you can, I want to know. I want to study your brain. I want to dissect your brain and find out what's wrong with it, because that beeping is so, like, it would be a torture. I would confess to anything or give up a country, that's why I'm not in the military, because they know that all they'd have to do is put a smoke detector with a dying battery in my cell, and within 5 minutes I would be Obama did it. I don't know what he did. Trump did it. I don't want people to get mad. Who cares? What, your guy did it. I would tell everybody. I can't. And that's a rule I have. There's always going to be, I have so many, what is it, D batteries? Whatever it is, whatever smoke detector batteries are, I carry them in my pocket. Just for friends. Oh, your battery's up? Bang. Get that? I can't. I apparently I don't like background noise. Because my brain picks up on it and I focus on it. Like, one time I tried to write, I found out, I'm a copycat, sorry. I just want to be liked. I found out at some point, probably in middle school or high school, that one of my friends listened to music when they were writing, doing their homework and writing papers. And I was like, I'm going to try that. And I just started writing the lyrics that I was listening to in my paper. Like, I got like a paragraph in. I was like, I've just been writing an Eve 6 song. Like, all the lyrics. I just can't. So I've had multiple girlfriends, friends, family members, baristas get mad at me because, like, I will drive in silence, and then driving in silence is a little weird. If I'm driving in silence, I'm angry for some reason. I'm angry or nervous. So watch out for my butthole. But, like, music in the background at the house, like, I've had girls come over and be like, why is your house so quiet? Are you wearing a wire and you can't have interference? Like, why is it so quiet? And it just doesn't bother. It's not even that it doesn't bother me. It's that I prefer the quiet, because how can you focus with anything on? I wish I can't. I wasn't allowed to have a TV in my room until I went to college, and when I finally did get a TV in my room, I burned I don't know if it still does it or not. I can't watch it tonight because it'll show the Patriots again. But for a while there, in the early to mid 2000s, there was, on SportsCenter, there was like a little bar that it would show like the next story. And I had it on so often and so much that bar burned into my television screen, and that I can't get anything done. If I have music or TV on, that's what I'm doing. So I like quiet, and I appreciate people respecting that. So I will get very upset at people having too much fun. What does too much fun mean? TBD. when I'm staying at my mom's, there's our neighbors have children, and they're cute, sure, fine, they're nice, cute kids. I don't know what, I feel like their house, the floor is just lava, actually lava, because it sounds like they travel around the apartment with jumps, like a series of jumping stations, and I've I've never I've never hated a child or a group of children as much as I hate my neighbors, and all they're doing is just playing and being kids and having fun. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And that doesn't just go for children. It also goes for like anyone. Like, so, okay. Well, I went to dinner on Friday, and at the table next to the service station, which I'm still angry about, but it was not reflected in the tip. There was a group of older men, not old, but like the beard was gray, probably mid 40s, I would say. And they saw each other. They were meeting long lost friends, and they were talking, and they were going into the bar, and one guy went woo, and he was not the wrestler who made that famous. And just they were so happy to see each other, but that happiness turned my soul black. I don't the wooing. I feel like if you woo, something's wrong with woo. Please stop wooing. That any sort of alcohol induced fun is not fun for me unless I'm drunk. And then, by the way, all these rules, and that I will be fair to everyone who's watching and listening. I am not bound by these rules. If I ever choose to break them, then for some reason I can justify it, which is not cool. I fully understand if you listen to this and you're like, Lee is not my favorite person. I understand. I will break all of these rules. And you know why? Because I'm, as Joe Rogan says, the main character of my story. I'm really not. Like I said, I have so many of these written down. This isn't really a rule. It's just something that annoys me that some people do that apparently I do is drive slowly. I get road rage like a motherfucker. I get road rage angry, but I'm also a nervous person, so I try not to beep too much, especially when I'm getting close to home, because my one of my worst nightmares is me beeping at someone and then them being my neighbor. Other than those my next door neighbors who are jumping everywhere, I will beep at. But apparently, I drive so slow. I've had my ex's mother, who was in her 50s or 60s, in a different language. She had to be like, "Why is he driving so slowly?" And I don't feel like I do, but I also don't I don't like going over 80. And I know you might be like, "That's not that slow." I have like I said, I have rules for everything. I like to be 9 miles over the speed limit. Sometimes I'll change that, especially on the highway. But like in real life, I have a made up thought in my head that you can't get tickets for anything under 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. And because of that, I just will go 9 miles. And I love people in my car. My mom will say, "You're driving too fast." And I'm going 30 on a major street. But people I date, friends like you, I have one friend, Freddie Correa. Thanks for the invite podcast. You should listen. He's the only person I know that drives slower than I do, and he drives so slowly you might think that it's like a game that he's playing. Like, let's see how slowly or how long I can drive this slowly for before someone complains, and then we won't change it. So Freddie, Shout out to you. I drive almost as slowly as you do, but not really. I I'm not a big fan of being touched unless I really like. Girlfriends, great. Friends, hug me. I'll jump on your lap. But and if I don't know a person and like they touch my shoulder, it feels like their hands on fire, and I'm made of ice, and I just it. I don't like that. I don't like going to clubs. Like that's the one thing about COVID that I think is good is that there are no more nightclubs. I think I'm almost positive. You know how they say like going to the club. In my entire adult life, I might have gone like once or twice in Israel, but in America, I've been to one club, and it was in LA. It was the night I went to a black barbershop. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I feel like I've told that story. They basically gave me like the coolest haircut of my life, but they didn't know how to do it. They had to ask because they even told like I don't know how to cut your hair. And I went to downtown LA with my friend and her brother and maybe his girlfriend, and it was. You ever go somewhere and you're like, I shouldn't be here, and I don't want to be here. If you enjoy nightclubs, I'm very happy for you. I hope you enjoy it on a daily. I hope you live in a nightclub. But the thought of being, like, my girlfriend even knows, like when we're in a cuddle mode, if my arm is underneath her arm, I'm having a slow death panic attack because I feel like I'm being trapped and confined, and I just can't. I won't, and I can't. I have weird, and this is how I know I have a problem with food. Like last night when the stupid Patriots were on, we got wings. I like wings, and I got a few wings, and I wouldn't eat them until the game started. Like we could have had dinner hour. I got the food like 2 hours before the game started. When did I start eating? As soon as kickoff happens, we're good. I just have weird. I don't know. I feel like it's just part of the process. I just need. Like, why would I eat wings on game day before the... It upset me so much that my head started to itch right now. Is that just the thought of people eating wings, like, during a commercial? Like, that made my head itch. By the way, when it comes to sports, I'm almost positive I've talked about this before, but I am so superstitious that like if something's going well, I can move. If things are going terribly, I can't move. And I will sit. What made me think about that is I will sit through a commercial and still like the game's still happening, so I can't move. I've almost peed my pants because of that. So many times. Frank, I'm ending today's podcast with, and I think you should know, is I am surprised and shocked, to be honest, that I've made it this far in life. And I'm still... That's how you know things are too cushy, because I shouldn't have these thoughts or feelings or emotions. And the fact that I'm alive is a miracle. So, thank you so much. I will let you know that hopefully next week I won't be heading into a new quarantine. With my luck, probably will be. But we'll find out. Thank you so much to Fume. Don't forget, go to breathefume.com/Lee and use code Lee to save an additional 10%. Check it out. Breathe Fume is great. Go to breathefume.com/Lee. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week on What Was I Thinking?